Students with disabilities enrolled by their parents in private schools when FAPE is at issue. General, 34 CFR Section 300.148. And LEA or USDB is not required to pay for the cost of education, including special education and related services, of a student with a disability at a private school or facility if that LEA or USDB made a FAPE available to the student and the parents or adult student elected to place the student in a private school or facility. However, the LEA or USDB must include that student in the population whose needs are addressed consistent with Rule V.B of the USPSAR. Disagreements between the parents or adult student and LEA or USDB regarding the availability of a program appropriate for the student, and the question of financial reimbursement, are subject to the state complaint and due process procedures in Rules 4GB of the USPSAR. Reimbursement for private school placement. If the parents of a student with a disability or adult student, who previously received special education and related services under the authority of LEA or USDB, enroll the student in a private preschool, elementary school, or secondary school without the consent of a referral by the LEA or USDB, a court or a hearing officer may require the LEA or USDB to reimburse the parents or adult student for the cost of that enrollment if the court or hearing officer finds that the LEA or USDB had not made a FAPE available to the student in a timely manner prior to that enrollment and that the private placement is appropriate. A parental placement may be found to be appropriate by a hearing officer or a court even if it does not meet the state standards that apply to education provided by the USDB and LEAs. Limitation on reimbursement. The cost of reimbursement may be reduced or denied if 1. At the most recent IEP team meeting that the parents or adult student attended prior to removal of the student from the public school, the parents or adult student did not inform the IEP team that they were rejecting the placement proposed by the LEA or USDB to provide a FAPE to their student, including stating their concerns and their intent to enroll their student in a private school at public expense, or 2. At least 10 business days, including any holidays that occur on a business day, prior to the removal of the student from the public school, the parents or adult student did not give written notice to the LEA or USDB of the information described in Rule V.C.4.A of the USPSAR. 3. Prior to the parents' or adult student's removal of the student from the public school, the LEA or USDB informed the parents or adult student, through the written prior notice requirements of its intent to evaluate the student, including a statement of the purpose of the evaluation that was appropriate and reasonable, but the parents or adult student did not make the student available for the evaluation, or 4. Upon a judicial finding of unreasonableness with respect to actions taken by the parents or adult student. Notwithstanding the requirements for the parents or adult student to provide notice to the LEA or USDB prior to removal of the student, the cost of reimbursement, 1. Must not be reduced or denied for failure to provide the notice if a. The school prevented the parents or adult student from providing the notice, b. The parents or adult student had not received written prior notice of the notice requirement in Rules V.C.4.AB of the USPSAR, or c. Compliance with the notice requirements in Rules V.C.4.AB of the USPSAR would likely result in physical harm to the student, and 2. May, in the discretion of the court or a hearing officer, not be reduced or denied for failure to provide this notice if a. The parents or adult student are not literate or cannot write in English, or b. Compliance with Rule V.C.4.AB of the USPSAR would likely result in serious emotional harm to the student.